Hi, this is Ted Burns. We are back at Ava Bamman Park and cyclocross venue in Louisville, Kentucky for day 2 of the Derby City Cup. A couple of race notes before we go check out the course. Ryan Traban is out on the course testing things right now. He tweaked his back in a warm-up lap, so we're not sure if he's going to be at the start line. Tim Johnson is also not going to be starting today. He's been battling a back injury for a couple of days now. On the women's side, I'm going to be particularly interested to see how Courtney McFadden does. She had a great start yesterday and finished in third for a fantastic finish for her. On the course side, things are looking pretty much the same as the day before. So we're going to go check out a couple of the features that proved to be decisive in yesterday's race. Right behind me is the first sandpit that riders come through. This proved to be quite decisive in last night's race for Jerry Powers and Danny Summerhills. They were fighting through position going into the final lap. Same happened in the women's race for second spot between Caitlin Antoneau and Courtney McFadden. So we saw a lot of riders jostling for position coming through this spot. We are at the last set of stairs on the course, the famous limestone stairs. This is the last part of the course where a rider can get into position before heading into the curving off-camber section that heads into the Louisville High Step. So for riders looking to move up a spot, this is the last chance to get around somebody. We are looking at the final section of the course. Riders come off the limestone stairs into a series of off-camber turns, and then riders head into a 180 that goes downhill into the high step jump. This is where a lot of things are kind of going down at the very end, and riders are having issues kind of coming down and heading into the jump. I got Arlie Kemmerer. Had a great race last night. I think you came in 5th at the end.
I did in a sprint finish. Yeah.
Yeah. So tell me, you were in the hunt for a podium spot there for most of the race.
Yeah, it was most of the race. Yeah, Gabby just came off the line really fast and it just like drove the pace. Our first lap was just blistering fast, and Courtney and Gabby and I just kind of kept going through. And after the second lap, I had pulled probably 3/4 of the second lap, and we got on the pavement. And I turned around and was expecting to see more people, and it was just Nicole Duke and Courtney McFadden and I, and I'm like, whoa, okay, well, here we go. So Courtney just was super, super fast yesterday and so strong and just kept driving, and people just kept blowing off of us until we were all alone, so it's pretty awesome.
So how does that shape up things for today? You know, second day of racing, looking good?
Yeah, I'm always better on the second day, and the C1s have been like very elusive for me this year because I just have to travel in on Friday nights usually because I have a job during the week, and just could not get it together in these C1s, and then usually the second day, like I have an awesome race, like I almost podiumed at Providence, and I had a pretty poor showing on the C1 day, so that was a big goal yesterday. Did a long warm up and just really like tried to make sure I had my head in the whole thing and knew that I could do well. I just needed to I guess hit the warm up correct. So it seemed to work out.
So what's going to be the key on today's course?
It's pretty much the same as yesterday. The finish is actually going to be a little bit tougher because they dumped all your speed on that hill going up onto the pavement. So if we do 6 laps again today, it could be hard by the end of those 6 laps. So it'll be interesting if we have to dismount, run, and then remount to finish. So hopefully, whatever goes on there, you're not going into that hill with another person because that could be very interesting.
Great, thanks.
Thank you very much.
Got Carolyn Manny. You were 4th last night, so good finish. How do you feel going into the day? And you're racing without cast, I see, too.
Yeah, it's nice to not have any handicap. I mean, racing at night is hard for me, but, I just need time to, get used of the darkness and everything. So I had a pretty terrible start, but I just didn't panic and was like, okay, let's go. You will pass people, and don't give up until the end. So I almost came back for 3rd, but it was too late.
Do you feel like you can take the risks you need to take now to kind of get onto the podium with the cast off?
Yeah, it's still a little bit painful for sure. It has been in the cast for 6 weeks, but it's nice to be free actually. Like not riding really weird and standing on the bike is really nice. So yeah, I hope I will have a better start today. I'm gonna do it. And then why not, go with the one who actually had a good race yesterday and make a podium or even better.
And
That's the goal.
Going into the race today, any plans how you're going to hit the course?
I'm just gonna go full gas. That's it.
All right, thanks.
Thanks.
Caitlin Antno, day 2 of racing. You had a great finish on the C1 race, second place last night. Tell me, do you think you can kind of move up a spot?
I'll try my best out there. I'm really happy with how yesterday went, and the course is super fast and technical, so I'll try it again today.
What are you going to do different today compared to last night?
I think I rode a really smart race yesterday, so just try to do that again, and yeah.
Any taking on Katarina, she's been a tough competitor whenever she shows up. Any tricks in your bag you can pull out for that?
I don't know. She has a lot of experience and a engine to go with it, so yeah, I don't know. I'll just try.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the start line here, day number 2 in Louisville, Kentucky, home of the Louisville Slugger, Kentucky Bourbon, and of course this, one of the coolest cyclocross venues in all the land. Elite women here, UCI C2 Racing, about to get underway as the gun goes off and we get into the pedals. Meredith Miller there looks like a slow start off the line as the riders swarm around her. Katie Antonu coming up on her left side as we go off the pavement onto the grass. The K-Edge Felt rider, the young Allison Arnsman, going to take the whole shot there. Just 20 years of age, a very strong ride for her last week at the U23 Continental Championships as Beth Ann Orton leads us here up the stairs on day number 2. A big swarm of riders here fighting for contention, looking for some redemption maybe after last night. A lot of riders looking to score points last night that didn't. They're going to be going after that UCI C2 points and prize money here this afternoon. Rachel Lloyd, very strong through the sand there. That bobble from Courtney McFadden sort of holding people up a little bit, allowing Rachel Lloyd to get a little bit of separation now as Caroline Monti makes her way out of the sand there. So another tough start for the French woman. Hitting the green monster here, Rachel Lloyd. Now, interesting to see a lot of these women not choosing to shoulder the bike, just going with the high suitcase carry here. These steps, as we've said before, very, very steep. So you'll see some of these smaller riders like McFadden really struggle. They're actually McFadden. You see they're going sideways just to keep the front wheel from knocking on the steps. Now, here comes Monti. So Caroline Monti, a tough start, but quickly today starting to make her way through that field. I saw Ellen Noble on the back of that group as well for the U23 race. Twisting our way now through these trees, through this course. Now, basically identical to last night, as you guys saw, but the major difference, of course, is we have daylight. We have sunshine out here, so all those dark off-camber corners that were so treacherous last night going to be a lot easier to navigate here this afternoon, and navigating them just as well as she did less than 24 hours ago. That is Katarina Nash, the Czech rider for the Luna Chicks, starting to stretch out her advantage. Now, that great start for Rachel Lloyd. She stuck with her as long as she could, now finds herself in the silver medal position, but already with a pretty sizable gap over the rest of the chasers there. So a great start there for the mother of 2, the Cal Giant rider, Rachel Lloyd, actually going to be making her way over to Europe here in a couple weeks to contend some World Cups. As they get 2 laps to go, the Specialized rider there still holding strong. We'll get a chance to take a look at that chase group here as a lot of movement taking place back there. Everybody fighting for the podium here on day number 2. A great redeeming ride here for Rachel Lloyd. She had a tough start last night, found herself off the back of that chase group early in the race. And now look at this, the orange Giro shoes there for the Raleigh Clement rider. That is Caroline Monti, racing, of course, all season with a broken wrist. This weekend, in fact, the first time she has been out of that cast. Now, we see the leader here. Interesting line choice there for Katarina. You can see where yesterday's course is a little more worn in, so she's taking that hard-packed dirt line. I think you'll see some of the other riders here just cutting that apex, staying on the grass as we get a good shot here to show the gap as Rachel Lloyd, as we said, now taking that inside line. Lloyd going to fight here very strong. This would be a great finish for Lloyd, who's looking to get as many of those UCI points as possible before heading across the pond, and she's going to make a bid this year, I think, for the World Championships team. So these points, I mean, we talk about them all the time, but they are in fact crucial as we get to this point in the season when a lot of the North Americans start to take those flights across the pond to race some of those bigger European races. On the stairs now for Rachel Lloyd. Not quite the style of her former teammate Cody Kaiser last night in that men's race, but still very fast, very efficient, and very much so holding on to that silver medal. A huge ride here potentially for Rachel Lloyd if she can finish this off with 1 lap to go. Nobody right now pushing the leader. Katarina Nash all by herself off the front of this race, as she has been all season. But just like we talk about in the past with Katie Compton in these races, a rider like Katarina who has a world championship on her mind, who's looking to win World Cups, even when she's off the front here, she is pushing out of every corner, 100% wattage here all day long, trying to prepare herself for those harder battles that she will see in just a few weeks' time when she heads overseas. Now, that's your first place. Second place on course. Third place right now is, in fact, Caroline Monty as she takes a look over her shoulder. Who's going to get close? Yesterday, it was Katie Antonu who made the late charge for the podium. Today, it looks like, wow, Nicole Duke. So Nicole Duke, the Marin Spy rider there in the pink socks. She's got Arlie Kemmerer on her wheel. Courtney McFadden there as well. This would be a huge finish for Duke with just 1 lap to go. She has struggled so much to find that form here in the early part of the season. A few good rides, a few good starts here and there, but rarely we've seen her fighting for the top 5 here in this, a huge big-time UCI race in Louisville, Kentucky. Katarina putting down the power here. 1 pedal stroke, 2 pedal strokes. She makes her way up the climb as she makes her way now down the finishing stretch. She will do it. So now Katarina undefeated in her last 4 attempts, racking up some huge points. Rachel Lloyd, the Cal Giant rider, a huge career day for her. This is about as good as it gets when Katie Compton or Katarina Nash is in the field. A second place ride here in the UCI C2 event on Sunday. Now let's take a look for that podium. The podium and the top 5 here still very much up for grabs as Caroline Monty. 1, 2, 3 pedal strokes, but a very quick dismount there, so not able to ride it, but a smooth transition back onto the pavement. Nicole Duke coming through. She's got riders on her wheels. She's got McFadden. Now Duke struggles a bit there as McFadden making her way over the climb. Courtney will in fact ride it, but it looks like that gap might just be a little too big. It's going to be a sprint on their hands, but Nicole Duke, a very strong sprinter. So in the saddle, in fact, she will do it. She's going to be psyched with this. Caroline Monty third, Nicole Duke fourth, Courtney McFadden will round out your top 5.
Nicole Duke, you got the hotly contested battle for third or fourth. Sorry, yeah, but that was close.
Yeah, it was. I saw Monty at the end, and Courtney and I were together, and Courtney pulled really hard on one of the straights for me, and she's like, go get it. And I tried my best, and I just needed maybe another half lap because we were gaining on Monty. But, you know, I was happy to have energy at the end of the race because usually I fade back, and today I think, I don't know, maybe I have my mojo back.
That's great.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay, all right. Caroline, last lap, I saw you get caught in right in the sand, the tape there, the fencing.
Oh, I was hoping nobody saw it. Oh, boom. Yeah, I was kind of like stuck. I was like, oops, I'm going for. So I was stuck for like a couple of seconds. I'm like, okay, what am I going to do now right now? I actually made a couple of mistakes today. It's pretty rare. I'm usually like try to be really smooth. So it's interesting to like having people coming back behind you and try to not make more mistakes. So it was an interesting race. Had a pretty bad, not bad start, but then I didn't feel so good at the beginning. So that's just my fault. And I tried to be consistent.
And you steadily worked your way up through traffic, and you got, you were making your way across there. How'd that go?
Oh yeah, traffic. That's a word. Yeah, it's not easy. The second section in the wood, actually, you cannot really pass people. It's really hard because it's just a single track, pretty fast cornering. So you have to expect people to make mistake actually and be like, okay, I'm going for. So it was really tough. So that's my fault. I should have been there right away. So I couldn't do better than third. I was too far.
But that was the podium spot you were looking for.
Yeah, I mean, we are looking for the win. And I was hoping to be able to stay with Nash because she's a world top racer. So, but I guess I will have other races to do that.
Great, thanks.
Thank you.
Rachel, second place today. Looks like the day racing is going a lot better than night racing.
Yeah, it sure is. I like the daylight. I like to see through my turns.
How'd it go out there?
It was good. I felt good. It was a really, really fun course. It was just nice to be able to see where I was going.
Great, thanks.
Yeah, sure.
Katarina, you're 4-0 now, so how'd today go?
Great. Yeah, another really good race. You know, I had a smooth ride. Kind of got away again and had to keep hammering. You know, Rachel's been riding really strong. We had some good battles this year. So, yeah, it was, like yesterday, there were a whole bunch of really strong girls right behind me, and I just, I didn't want them to come back to me and then have some sprints, because it's always better for me to ride away.
It didn't look like there were any problems on the course out there for you.
No, it was kind of nice to see, in the daylight, and I really like the course this year. All the features in the woods made it kind of more exciting. I typically prefer a lot hillier courses, so this has always been a little bit of a struggle. So I'm happy to come back to Louisville and have a good weekend.
Great, thanks.
Thanks.
Okay, I got Anthony Clark. He's got brand new graphics on his bike. It's looking good. So yesterday didn't go as planned. Tell us how today's shaping up.
Course is the same, so got 3-lap pre-ride in, feeling pretty good. Hopefully gonna light up the start and try to get in a good group and just try to close gaps and see how it goes.
How you feeling for kind of like the Midwest tour going on?
Feels pretty good. I love coming out to Louisville. It's a hard course. It's a cool area. It feels kind of cool to be away from home for a week, get away from everybody. I miss my little guy, but get away from the stress of being at home. It's nice.
And show us you got a bike kitted up again a little bit more. Show us what you got.
You guys don't even have to worry about this. All you got now is you got a Babe. Just down the checkerboards, goes into flames on the bottom, says squid. You always got to have Babes on your bike.
Great, thanks for your time.
You're welcome.
Okay, Jeremy Duran, 5th yesterday. You had a great start.
Yeah, I think that was the key going into this race. There's a lot of bottlenecks, the sand and everything, so I came into the race knowing I needed to get a good start, and I started second row, so I started behind Powers, which is usually a safe bet, and was able to stay on his wheel pretty much the whole first lap. It was awesome.
So what kind of choices were you making throughout that race that sort of made the difference for you?
I think this year I'm a little bit stronger, so I was able to think more clearly throughout the race, and I was in a chase group, and positioning myself in that chase group was huge, because normally I'm just gassed and I'm sitting at the back of the chase group and you're just getting kind of thrown off the back the whole race and you're just chasing. But I was able to move up, sit second wheel the whole time, or hit the front and just get through those sections cleanly. And that's what helped me just stay towards the front the whole race and stay on Driscoll's wheel when he started going for a while and pull myself away from Krugoff. And it was just positioning really the whole race. That was key.
So we got the C2 today. Looks sunny, real nice. Course looks really fast. What's going to be the approach?
Well, the good result is out of the way, so there's no pressure today. I'm just going to go out and go hard and just see how it goes and see if I feel good. I'm just going to go for it and rip it today and try and get a good result, get on the podium.
Great. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Got Kerry Warner. So you're cracking the top 10 for sure. What's the next step?
Well, I haven't cracked the top 10 too much lately. The second half of the season started with Cincy, and I had some good results there and carried it through with 9th yesterday, which was good. So I think consistency first, and then then we can start to look to move up. There's a lot of racing left in the season, especially after Jingle Cross is coming up and then the Northeast stuff and a little break before Nationals. So, yeah, I got some time to climb up the steps a little bit.
And how's you got a nice sunny day today, fast course, bunch of technical stuff on the course today. How's a course like this in Louisville shape up for you?
Well, I'm not a huge fan of night racing, so last night was a bit of a relief for me to have a good race there. I didn't have a good race in the night race at Cincy, and you couldn't ask for a better day. The course is in great shape. It's a bit faster today, a little bit drier, so it'll be fun.
Great. Thanks, Kerry.
Yeah, thanks.
Logan Owen. So game plan going into today. Another Logan-Danny battle going on?
Yeah, definitely. We're going to go out hard and try to separate ourselves from everybody else as soon as possible. And because, that's kind of what roadies do. They kind of have the little extra at the end so I think we can hold everybody off for a lot longer. So, yeah, I think it'll be a good battle today. I did a little bit too much work last night. I got a little bit ahead of myself, and I was just really excited to be in the running for the podium. And I just kind of settled for the podium last night and just kept driving it while they sat on me. And but yeah, I'll play it a lot smarter today. Last night was a big goal, but I I might not feel the best today, but yeah.
I feel like the roadies, it's they're having a great week. The last both between you and Danny. Tell me what's the advantage kind of coming from the road into these races, particularly which are actually a little technical.
Danny went through his road season and never really took a break after, so he's just kind of coming to his end now, and he still has a lot of fitness and he still has that high top end. And whereas I had a long road season, took a break, and got sick like last weekend, and now I'm starting to just kind of get to that top end speed again from just the natural racing. And I think we just have a little bit more horsepower if we can hold it the whole race, as opposed to people that haven't done as many miles on the road this year.
And what are the major cross goals for you this year? You got a couple World Cups coming up, right?
Yeah, I want to, of course, get top 10s, top 5s in the World Cups this year. I need to kind of catch up on the points and make sure I can get in the top 2 rows for Worlds. And I failed to do that last year, and I did all the World Cups. But I think I'm riding a lot better this year, and I'm a lot stronger. I'm getting older. So, yeah.
Great. Thanks a lot, Dan.
Yep. Thank you.
Back to the start line we go here. Day number 2, your final race of the weekend. These are your elite men here, the UCI Category 2 event. Everybody on the start line, same as last night, minus, of course, Jeremy Powers, just focusing on the UCI C1s this year. So somebody else going to find their way onto the podium here today. And the Stars and Stripes there, that's Logan Owen, your U23 national champ. Very quick off the line, as he was yesterday. Curtis White is there. But as we head onto the grass, it is the big, bad Belgian Ben Bearden for Raleigh Clement, going to lead him here in the whole shot. Although as we hit the steps, it is Noosa Yogurt's Alan Krugoff getting on his way to the front of the bike race here. Yannick Ekman is through. Dan Timmerman is in there. Anthony Clark, Drew Dillman, everybody here swinging wide. We got 4 or 5 wide going up the steps here on lap number 1 as we head into the sandpit. Now, like we said in the women's race, same course today, only with the addition of daylight. So these guys are going to be very familiar with the lines from last night, as Danny Summerhill, your champion last night, taking that mean sprint finish over Jeremy Powers, going to be looking to do it all over again here today on day number 2. Yannick Ekman, the former U23 national champ, very strong start for him and the Cal Giant program here, with 3 riders inside the top 15 here on lap number 1. Coming up now into these stone steps, we saw a couple of the riders ride them yesterday in the nighttime. We'll see if anybody else wants to get rad here like Cody Kaiser and Adam Craig were doing. Meanwhile, the opposite of getting rad there for Alan Krugoff, kind of a rookie mistake as he throws his bike into the stake there on the side of the course. Going to hold him up just a second or so as he gets back going here. Still a strong start there for the Colorado local, riding his way inside the top 10. Another rider here having a great start is Cameron Dodge as he finds his way into that chase group. Anthony Clark is through. Yannick Ekman is through. One of the Neon Velo riders is through. And here we go, guys, side by side again, just like it was yesterday. Cody Kaiser for the Lang Twins Winery and Specialized Bicycles. Hashtag Cody wrote it. Getting sick here. I know Cody's going to be getting sick on this jump. We'll see if we get any shots of that later on in the day. But on the front of this race, 1, 2, 3, and 4, that is your lead group right there. Ben Bearden, he's been strong lately on day 2 races. He's not got the punchiness of some of these younger guys, self-admittedly, as he said last weekend when he actually had a really strong ride on day number 3 in Cincinnati. So when the sap gets sucked out of some of those younger riders' legs, he tends to find himself right up there in the front. Meanwhile, Jamie Driscoll, where else but just dangling off the front of that lead group. Look for him in the closing laps to try and get his way back up to the front of the bike race. Cameron Dodge, though, a great comeback story for him. He was struggling last night under the lights to find his form, still in the UCI points, but not at the front of the bike race, as we've seen from him in these last couple of weeks. Has already a number of UCI wins to his name. He had a big podium finish last Sunday in Cincinnati. Jamie Driscoll there, Curtis White on his wheel, and then the Richard Sachs rider, Dan Timmerman out of New York, a very strong rider from a few years ago. Took a few years away from the sport, actually, but recently just coming back into his own, and we see him now fighting consistently here on the national level for those top 10 placings and on the podium pretty regularly back in the New York, New England cross scene. 2 laps to go now. Summerhill in there. Summerhill easily the strongest sprinter, as you saw him last night dethrone the national champ Jeremy Powers. Logan Owen, not a bad sprinter in his own right, either. Meanwhile, Cameron Dodge, really the only rider in there that's going to have to try and go from one lap out here. Dodge on the pavement in a sprint is not going to be a pretty sight. That guy is a pure climber, 100%. Don't get me wrong, he can put some power down, but on this very fast pavement home stretch, he's going to be the guy here to try and stretch things out. Ben Bairden, not a bad sprinter either. We've seen him take victories at a race like the Boulder Cup. Also a very fast finishing stretch there on dirt. But Ben Bairden up against Danny Summerhill. I'm going to put my money on the young Summerhill. Now, starting to close that gap down now, as expected, is Jamie Driscoll. But this point in the race, it looks like he's left it a little too late to try and get back up there into contention. Logan Owen maybe sitting on here, maybe struggling a bit. Who knows? The tactics very much here in play as we see. Now, don't forget that little off-camber corner and that really steep run/ride-up that comes just before the finish. So positioning here going to be very crucial. In a road race, as you guys know, you don't usually want to lead out the sprint. You usually are looking to slingshot off somebody else. But on a day like today, I think you are going to want to be at least in those top two positions as they hit the pavement. Cameron Dodge now doing his best to try and stretch things out, try and take that extra pop out of some of these better sprinters' legs, but everybody looking comfortable as they ride his wheel through this sandpit. Curtis White and Jamie Driscoll, they are coming. Look out. If those first four riders start to sit up and play games at all, they could find themselves in a group of 6, and we know how strong Driscoll is on that last lap. Look at this already. So Driscoll coming across the gap there on the stairs, fully committed. He is all in now in his pursuit. This is that corner, guys. This is where Powers bobbled last night. Summerhill gets around clean. Now it looks like 2 riders here. So it's Summerhill, Bairden as we hit the pavement. No sign of the chasers. Summerhill looks like he's very strong here. Onto the pavement here. Now with the sun setting, it is Summerhill in the drops, on the tops, going, and gone. He will do it. Danny Summerhill, 2 days in a row. A huge weekend, everybody. Danny Summerhill is here to stay. The gold medal on Sunday. Ben Bairden, a very strong ride for him as well. Silver medal. Cameron Dodge going to do it again for another big podium ride. Jamie Driscoll looks like he comes again, guys, a little too late for the podium, but still 4th place on the day. And then Logan Owen in that Stars and Stripes kit of your U23 national champ. Another strong result here for him. 5th place on the day.
Cameron, podium finish, big day. How'd it go?
It was good. It was much better than last night. I don't know. I guess I don't like racing at night. But yeah, it was like a group of 4 of us. We were all working together to keep the gap. And I ended up 3rd, so super happy.
Where'd you get gap the last 2 laps?
I guess maybe the straights. I don't know. The pace was so fast. It was so hard. My legs were hurting, so, but yeah.
Great finish.
Thank you.
Ben, these young guys giving you a hard time out there. How'd the sprint go down?
We came on the last fill. I was right in his wheel, and we both accelerated. And normally I can go around people, but he's pretty fast, yeah. And it's not a shame to lose from Danny Summerhill. So.
Yeah, that kid's pretty fast in the finish. You think those road guys have a little bit of an advantage?
Oh, I'm an ex-roadie also, so. But I think it's like 15 years younger as me, so. But I'm still angry about yesterday. I had a mechanical the first lap, and I have to come back from that last. I had the legs to be in the top 5, but yeah. And then you hope for the second day, maybe to win, but Daniel was much better than me, so in the sprint, so yeah.
You've had a couple great finishes the last few weekends, so you got to feel like things are coming around.
Yeah, my overall fitness is pretty good. I'm always better the second day. The first day is always a struggle for me. But the season is coming to an end, and that's a shame that the season is going to be over soon. So,
Are you heading over to Belgium for any races there?
No, my season ends with the last race in Seattle, I think, so Washington. And then I'll probably do a few races in Belgium, but for me that's just the end of my winter. So,
Great racing, man.
Thank you.
Danny Summerhill, 2nd win in 2 days. You had tons of fans around the course. What's this mean for you?
Oh yeah, all these tiny humans running around were awesome. They're all just yelling for me and obviously giving me that extra 10% motivation. So it was fun. Nice way to close out on what's basically going to be a bit of my off season because I've been going since February. So I didn't really expect that by any means. Yesterday was honestly just what I was putting all my eggs into the basket for because, like I said earlier, I have so much respect for Jeremy, but it's about time someone took that top step. So glad I could do it and made for a good weekend, and I've got a lot of great Kentucky friends and that I've met here over the years, and it just makes it that much more fun to be here in front of them, you know.
You were really driving the pace for a big chunk of that race. Was that a strategic decision?
Oh, it was strategic in that it was more of a road race today, so it played out to Logan, Owen, and I's advantage. I was bummed that it wasn't him I was sprinting against, because if anyone deserves the win, it's that kid for crushing it 2 days in a row, you know. So really proud of him, and pretty much everyone else, like Curtis and all these young guys that are going to be taking our jobs in the next couple of years.
Have you ever thought about giving this cyclocross thing a try?
Yeah, someday. But road's where it's at for me right now, so just happy that United Healthcare lets me do a little bit of this on the side, and like I said, it's time for a beer.
Great, thanks.
Thank you.
That's a wrap. Day 2 of racing here at the Derby City Cup in Louisville, Kentucky. Story of the weekend has to be Danny Summerhill. 2 wins in 2 days. He is just on fire. He's taking a big break till Nationals in Austin, so we're not going to see him for a little while. On the women's side, Katarina Nash. She's gone 4-0, also on fire. She's just killing it right now. Join us next week. We're heading off to Iowa for Jingle Cross, where we'll be bringing you all the great behind the barriers action.